Parker versus Castle Rock. Which one is right for you? In this video, we're going to do a suburban showdown, give you pros and cons of each, and help you decide which small town comes out on top. Let's go. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim Kampmann, your host for Everything Denver, Colorado, where we talk all things Denver real estate. If you're thinking of a move here, hit me up, call, text, or email. I love helping people all around the U.S. relocate to the Denver metro area. And while you're here, please download the free relocation guide that I have linked in the video description. It's very helpful for a lot of people before they're ready for a call to just grab that, get a little bit more background on Denver as a whole and some of the different suburbs and neighborhoods around. So thank you guys for watching. Today we're breaking down Parker versus Castle Rock and which one is the best of the best. So we're going to start out our tour in Parker, Colorado. Now this is a wonderful suburb exploding with growth here in the Denver metro area. Located on the southeast corner of the Denver metro, you're about a 25-minute commute to the Denver Tech Center from most of Parker, and about a 30 to 35-minute commute into like the downtown area of Denver. So if you are working in Denver but you don't want to live in Denver and none of the other suburbs around have felt quite right, Parker might be a perfect option for you. And the reason Parker has exploded with growth is because a lot of other people have felt the same way. They want a quieter, but slower pace of life, more distance from their neighbors, with still having like a community and a small town feel. So one of the things that's drawn a lot of people to Parker is the community feel and family-friendly atmosphere. So you're going to find a lot of suburban style neighborhoods. This is very much a suburb of Denver. So you're not going to have the historic charm or much of the congestion that kind of comes with some of those inner city suburbs of Denver. You are going to find a little bit more space, a lot of trails, a lot of parks, sidewalks that are paved throughout the town of Parker. Now, some of the biggest benefits of living here are you do get a little bit larger home for the price compared to some of those areas like Littleton, Centennial, and the interior of Denver. So median home price is going to be right around $600,000 to $650,000 for most of the homes here in Parker. We do have a few luxury neighborhoods that are going to be $1 million plus. Some of those include like Pradera and the Timbers and the Pinery kind of on the south end. And we do have some newer neighborhoods as well that are kind of exploding with growth and new construction, places like Looking Glass and the trails at Crowfoot. There's kind of something for everybody in the town of Parker, and especially if you're a first-time home buyer and looking to get into kind of an entry-level home, some of the neighborhoods of North Parker like Cottonwood might be the perfect fit for that. Now, as far as shopping goes in the town of Parker, yes, you're gonna have all your big box stores, but if you're looking for something that's a little bit more unique, check out Main Street and kind of this downtown area of Parker. It's gonna be very charming, a lot of local mom and pop shops, local bars and restaurants, and a local coffee shop. Vika Coffee House is one of the most popular in the entire town. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more unique and not just completely suburban, that is your best option. Now, things to do in the Parker area. You do have the Pace Center, which is a live local theater here in Parker, and that is one of the things that Parker has that Castle Rock will not. Not a live local theater or, performing arts center in Castle Rock. So that is the benefit of Parker. Parker and Castle Rock are going to have more in common than they do differences, but here are just a few of them that kind of set each one apart. If you're looking for shopping, and I know moving to the suburbs, you want to make sure you have everything that you need on a daily basis. Both are going to offer that, but Parker does have a Costco and a Trader Joe's, which Castle Rock does not. Castle Rock has Sam's Club, and it does have an outlet mall that has a little bit more uniqueness than, say, anything in the town of Parker, but those are two very popular stores that people are looking for when they move here to the Denver metro. So Parker does have Costco and Trader Joe's. Castle Rock is slated to get a Costco. I don't know about Trader Joe's yet, but if that influences your decision, you should know what you're getting into. Now, as far as other things to do, in the town of Parker, there are trails, there are rec centers, there's a lot of parks and playgrounds, things for people to do. I will say that Parker is a little bit more flat and a little bit less outdoor recreation things to do that are right nearby. Yes, you have the Cherry Creek trail that runs, through Parker and up into the Denver area, and it's all paved and surrounded by cottonwood trees, so it's really beautiful, especially in the fall, to see all those fall colors kind of surrounding the trails and things. But as far as the topography or the terrain of Parker, it is very flat, and as a result it gets a little bit windier here than in some parts of Castle Rock, where you do have a lot more hills and kind of rocky terrain and cliff sides and things like that. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more scenic and a little bit more variety in the terrain and mountain biking trails and outdoor activities, Castle Rock is going to have the edge there. Now, some of my favorite neighborhoods around Parker that you should be sure to check out are the Stonegate neighborhood neighborhood. This is a subdivision on the north side of Parker, so has great commutability up into the Denver area, also close to C-470 if you need to get out to the airport on a fairly regular basis. That'll make commuting a little bit easier. And then as we move further to the south, neighborhoods like Canterbury Crossing, that's kind of golf course style living, is a very popular one. And homes in this area are going to range from 800,000 to $1 million, but you are getting a larger scale home, a pretty big lot. And since it's set a little bit further to the east in the Parker area, generally if you're in the right spot in the neighborhood, you can have sweeping views of the Rocky Mountains. That is a nice benefit of living a little bit further to the east and set back from the Rockies, is sometimes you can have a wider, more panoramic view of the entire mountains that range across Denver. Now, something else that's a little bit more unique to Parker versus Castle Rock is if you move further to the east, you are going to have more opportunities to buy homes on acreage. So things that are 5 to 10 acre lots, or even larger than that if you're moving further to the east. This is going to feel a little bit more like a town like Elizabeth than it is Parker, but they still have a Parker address, and it is a place where you can buy property to have chickens or goats or even horse properties out here. So if that is something that you're looking for, Parker is going to have a few more options than Castle Rock in that specific genre of homes or style of homes. Now, some of the cons of living in Parker. One, I would say commuting on the south end of Parker up into the Denver metro area can be a challenge. Everything runs off of Parker Road through the town of Parker, and this is kind of the main thoroughfare, 3 or 4 lanes each direction, so it's almost like a freeway with stoplights, which could be super frustrating, to be honest. You get up to 50 miles an hour or 55, the posted speed limit, and then you're stopping for another red light. And they're not always synchronized so that you can, make it through town very easily. And God forbid there's an accident on one of these roads, it can get backed up. And like I said, it's one of the main only thoroughfares to get north and south in Parker. There are some side roads to either side of Parker Road, but this is going to be your main form of transportation through here. Now, neither Castle Rock or Parker have public transportation available, so that is something to consider if you're moving here. And I don't know if they will ever come down to either of these towns. The light rail, which is our train stations throughout the Denver metro area, the last stop on the south end is in the town of Lone Tree. So that is kind of where C-470 and I-25 intersect. So if you're going to be using public transportation on a regular basis, you're going to be commuting and you're going to be car dependent to get up to one of those stations in either of these towns. And a lot of the residents don't favor public transportation, so it's probably going to be kind of hard pressed to get it down into these areas anyway. Now, as we move over to the town of Castle Rock, when people are coming out to visit, I kind of say Parker and Castle Rock are sister cities. They're very similar in a lot of ways. They're both very subdivision-like, but they both do have their charming downtown areas. And I mentioned Main Street in Parker with its local bars and restaurants, and Castle Rock has the same thing in its Old Town Castle Rock, this downtown area off of Wilcox and I-25. You're going to find a lot more local restaurants, breweries, bars, some local shopping here, but they're also kind of redeveloping and revitalizing this area with some high-rise and luxury condos and apartments down here as well. The Encore building is one of the more popular ones down here, and so if you're looking for something that's low maintenance, lock and leave when you're not here, that can be a great option for you. But that's not the reason most people end up moving to Castle Rock. Most of them come for the family-friendly neighborhoods, the parks, the recreation, and the community feel. So I feel that Castle Rock has a little bit more going for it on the community side of it. They do close down the downtown area at different times of the year for different events, whether that be farmers markets in like the Festival Park area, or the star lighting that's right around Christmas time, where we light the star that's on top of the Castle Rock as kind of a kickoff to the holiday season, or just different events throughout the year, whether that be holiday or not. They have, a car show that's in downtown Castle Rock on Father's Day. They have a thing called the Duck Derby, kind of right at the end of spring, beginning of summer, where the Chamber of Commerce floats thousands of rubber ducks down the Plum Creek Trail, kind of an event for the kids. I don't know how that got started, to be honest. It's kind of an odd thing to do, but it's something that brings the community out and they can get together and get to know your neighbors. There's also Oktoberfest that comes through here. So there's definitely a lot of community involvement throughout the Castle Rock area. And there's a lot of great neighborhoods throughout here. Some of my favorites, just to recap, Meadows is a very, very popular one, kind of on the northwest corner of Castle Rock. popular for families because it's got great schools, parks, and recreation all nearby, and it's got quick commuting access up into Denver. So on a map, you're going to notice that Castle Rock is a little bit further south than Parker, but commute times are fairly equivalent. Now, to get into the Denver Tech Center, you're looking at 25 minutes. If you need to get into downtown Denver, you're looking 35 to 40 minutes. And the reason for that is you're on I-25 here, and as long as there's no traffic or congestion, you can get into Denver honestly in like 30 minutes if you were really hauling at a non-peak rush hour time. But we're going to account for that. You're not going to be driving like a maniac in Colorado when you come here, I'm sure. So plan for about 40-minute commute to get into the downtown Denver area. Some other neighborhoods that are favorites of a lot of people moving here. The Founders Village, kind of on the southeast corner, is a favorite for a lot of first-time home buyers because they get in at a little bit more affordable price. That is kind of our neighborhood where you're going to find homes starting at $500 and ranging from $500 to $650 for most of the homes here. But again, they have a lot of what Castle Rock has to offer: the trails, the parks, the local community involvement where you can walk down the street and be at a park for your kiddos and not have to drive 5 or 10 minutes. You can just walk right out your front door and have access to a great park. And another popular one is Crystal Valley. Now, this is one of our newer developments. I mentioned that both Parker and Castle Rock are really exploding with a lot of growth, and a lot of the growth in Castle Rock is happening down in this Crystal Valley development where they're building a lot of new homes and a lot of new development happening here. And not only just your family friendly typical 2-story homes, but they also have a pocket of the neighborhood that is very active 55 plus community where they're building a ton of ranch style homes with a very active community with pickleball courts, clubhouses, swimming pools. If I was 55 plus, I would want to move. Absolutely. I'm not 55 plus and I want to live in this community because it's so nice, clean, and has so many cool amenities. So I mentioned the acreage opportunities in the town of Parker. If you move further to the east, Castle Rock does have that to an extent on the south end in the neighborhoods like Bell Mountain Ranch, where it's horse property, or Keens Ranch on the east, on the west end of I-25, where you're going to have more unique luxury style homes and more custom homes than your typical subdivision, but there are more options for that in the town of Parker for sure. Now, this is also an area where Castle Rock is expanding its retail and commercial footprint as well. So this is where the Costco is slated to eventually go in, and a lot of other shopping opportunities. So you do have, I'd say, more shopping opportunities in Castle Rock, even though we don't have a Trader Joe's or Costco. We do have the Promenade, which is kind of the first thing that you'll see when you come into the Castle Rock area from Denver, coming south on I-25. There's a lot of big box stores here. The Whole Foods is here, Sam's Club, but a lot of also restaurants. La Loma is one of the favorite Mexican restaurants here, along with Los Dos, another very popular Mexican restaurant. And you do have a lot of other businesses coming in to this area right here as well. And this is also where the outlet mall is. So one thing I would say, maybe a downside to Castle Rock, I don't notice it quite as much, is the outlet mall on the weekends. It gets really packed with a lot of people coming, for shopping and spending the day there. And there's an in and out there, so that's always packed on the weekends. It's really full all the time. But this is, the only kind of, I guess, touristy spot in Castle Rock where you might have a lot of outsiders coming in for a weekend to spend the day at the outlet mall, especially on those nice spring and summer days when the sun is finally out and people are looking and eager to get out of their house after the cold days of winter are over. Benefits of Castle Rock that Parker does not have are more outdoor living opportunities. We got Philip S. Miller Park that's here on the south end. That's a huge rec center and outdoor recreation space. So not only do you have the rec center with the pool and fields and stuff like that, but you also have an incline, miniature incline of 200 steps. There are a lot of people like to go and work out. There's an outdoor gym here. There's a big, huge playground that they seem to always be adding on stuff to. There's an adventure tower where you can do rock climbing and like rappelling and different things and do ninja warrior courses and all those kind of things. So there's a lot of outdoor opportunities to live and enjoy and to meet people. And there's also an amphitheater here. The city will put on concerts throughout the summer and the early fall. So there's a lot of things in the community for people to come out and get to know one another. And a lot of them are pretty low cost or free, which is also nice. So definitely a big community impact in the Castle Rock area, and a lot of people come out for the outdoor living opportunities. There's always something going on at some of these parks that are throughout Castle Rock, whether that's 5Ks or 10Ks. There's just a lot happening all across the city. And price points in Castle Rock are going to be fairly comparable to Parker. Most of the single family homes here are going to be ranging that $600,000 to $650,000 range. And then we also have a few luxury neighborhoods where the price points are going to be $1 million plus. Places like Diamond Ridge, where they got large estates that are kind of built on the cliffside that overlook the town of Castle Rock and the mountains. As well as those places that I said that have acreage, Bell Mountain Ranch and Kings Ranch are going to range in that $1 million plus price point. So there are entry-level neighborhoods like Founders Village where you can get in at $500,000, but most of the homes, $600,000 to $650,000 is going to be what you can expect when you're touring around looking at homes. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Kind of a quick down and dirty on the pluses and minuses of each. Which one is right for you? Well, you couldn't go wrong with either one, to be honest. There are places that I definitely say are not the best or are not going to be a wise investment going forward, but Parker and Castle Rock have a lot going for them. They continue to grow and expand, and there's a lot of opportunity in both of these towns as a place to raise your family, or if you're ready to settle down and move into one of those 55 active plus communities, Castle Rock has a great option for you there as well. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you found it helpful. Don't forget to reach out when you're thinking of your move here, or if you have more questions about specific areas or any of the different suburbs that I've highlighted on this channel. It'd be an honor to help you on your relocation to the Denver Metro.